This is George Sicalius, and this is Sprint 6. Um, so I'm just going to start off with a demo of the collision system. So I'm detecting collisions between the ships and the enemy ships, and if I press a key, it will deregister my current ship, and that will, in essence, stop all collisions from being recognized. Because there's nothing else for the enemy ships to be uh, compared to. It's actually showing you. Now here. Yeah, so I press a key, deregisters it from the collidable group, and then it won't be recognized anymore, so then any collisions between the ship and the enemy would stop registering. Um, and then, of course, I have to register it when I create it. Um, so going back to the diagram. Okay. So, as I just showed, a game object has to register for its collision, just like every other obel. It has a collision method that's user defined. Um, Actually, walking through the collision registration process. So, an object calls collision registration. That will then add it to the collidable group. Um, can I open it? No. So it adds it to the collidable group. It creates a new collidable group if it doesn't already exist. Um, and then on the current scene, has to actually set the collision pairs for the objects to be compared. So the current scene has to set the collision. So this is a templated method inside of scene, which then makes a call to the collision manager to actually create a token with the corresponding classes, and then that token will then be stored inside of collision manager for processing. So where is engine? So yeah. So it makes a call to set collision self or set collision pair. It creates a new token. When this token is processed by process collision test, it will run the collision check on the corresponding class pairs that has been assigned to it. So this is test self. This is test pair. Actual collidable group. So when an object registers to be collidable, it sends its registration token of the collidable object gets sent to the scene, which then gets processed by the scene broker. That will then register it inside of the corresponding collidable group. So yeah. At, as of right now, well, I've been running into a lot of include loops, especially with collidable group, and that's been kind of screwing me over when it comes to actually deleting the collidable groups. So as of right now, the collidable groups do not delete themselves. I still have to work out some of the issues with the include loops in order to get something where I can actually create a token and then send it somehow to the collision manager so that the collision manager can eventually delete each of the collidable groups. Um, so yeah, I still need to implement that. Um, so yeah. Oh, um, so last week I was using a command broker for the scene changes, but instead, well, now I'm using a null command along with a scene change command. So current token, it's most of the time it's going to be set to the null command, which does nothing. If it is set to the scene change command, it'll then change the scene, and then I think the last thing it does is, yeah, it changes the current token back into the null token. Um, so yeah, that's it. Okay.